YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with the episode number 4 of the Top of the Morning Sports Show. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing today on this cold Monday? And for the first time this, fall, I can actually say it feels like fall now. In the DMV area, we have a freeze warning outside. So that should tell you how cold it is. It's Juan Gotti here coming on the mic at 9:04. What a day. What a day of football we had yesterday. I mean, good day of football. So many good games. We're going to get into it. But before we do that, I want to ask that you guys like this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I go live to do the Top of the Morning Sports Show. With that out the way, let's get to opening statements. So, opening statements is going to bleed into NFL rewind of yesterday because yesterday was amazing. A good day of football. I'm not going to lie to you. You got the Bills and Vikings, probably the game of the year. Justin Jefferson going off for 190 plus yards. Stephon Diggs doing this thing. What a game. Josh Allen looking like he's not hurt. Didn't look like that UCL injury or elbow injury affected him, even though it cost him late in the game with not his elbow, but him per se. What a game. I mean, the Bills literally found a way to piss that game away. And it was very crazy. And then you go down to Florida. You got the Dolphins taking care of business. I was wrong on Tua, man, and I know it's only been a couple games, not a couple games, but only, first time he's really shown life as a franchise quarterback, and he still has time, he still has to prove it and whatnot, and actually, be consistent, but I think this is Tua. I think he's arrived, man, and I was wrong. If this is what Tua's going to be, I was definitely wrong on Tua. But, man, what a day of football. Opening statements, you got that. And then you got my Washington Commanders taking on the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles in an NFC East showdown where Washington is traveling to the Link to face the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. And we'll get to that later on in the show, and if we have enough people, I'll put the number up there where you can actually call into the show and have your voice heard when we get to the preview game about that. Now, let's see what's going on here with the chat. Hold on, give me a second. I don't know why my computer just decided to spaz out like that right now. Let's see what's going on with the chat right quick. You got my man Kevin the PRF in the building, Brian Harden, Mike Lee Thomas, Darcy Willis, or Darcy, and Alante. What's going on? How you doing out there? Appreciate y'all for coming through this morning. Let me see what's going on with the mouse here. I can write all morning, but as soon as I get on air, it wants to trip out. So, there it goes. Let's kick this thing off by talking about the NFL recap here. Let's see. First thing you have first game you have is a game we pretty much talked about on Thursday on Friday's episode of the Top of the Morning show was Panthers and Falcons. I don't really gotta talk too much about that because again we talked about that on Friday's episode. Let's get into Sunday's action. So first, you have the Seahawks and Buccaneers over in Germany. What a game! I mean that was a good game. The Bucs are finally starting to find their stride and they're looking like the Bucs that we were used to for the last 2 years. Tom Brady had a couple good drives in this game where I'm like, oh, that's vintage Brady right there, especially down the stretch where the Seahawks needed to get off the field. And Brady said, I'm putting this game on ice, making a couple grabs to, couple good throws to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin across the middle, who's coming back off of an ACL injury. And then their running back put it on ice. We're getting 2 first downs. Brady was outstanding in this game. Besides the botch play call where he was at wide receiver and he slipped, he went from 22 for 29, 258, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Their running back Rashad White was really good in this game. Led them on the ground with 22 carries for 105 yards. Leonard Fournette, 14 for 57. Then their leading receiver, Chris Godwin, 6 receptions for 71 yards and a touchdown. Mike Evans comes in with 5 receptions for 54 yards. And Julio Jones, 3 receptions, 53 yards, and a touchdown. So, what a game from the Buccaneers. And it looks like that offense is starting to find their way. And that's good for them because that NFC South is really wacky. So if they pick the year to get off to a rough start, they picked the perfect year because, again, they could be 5-7 at some point. They could lose the next 2 games and probably still be in first place. That's how bad this division is in the NFC South. So the Bucs will be just fine, and I think they're going to go into this bye week and come out of it and just probably run away and hide with the division. That's what I really feel with this division. Then you go up for the Seahawks. They've been a feel-good story all year long. They really have. They sit at 6-4 now. They came into game 6-3, and I'm like, is this Geno Smith? Like, is this really Geno Smith? And from stat wise, he proved it again. This is Geno Smith. He was solid in the game. I know there's a couple passes that he would like to have back. Maybe the one where he threw it a little too high for DK Metcalf in the back of the end zone. Every time he tried to get a jump ball. I know in some plays he would want to have back, but for the most part, he was still solid in this game for 23 for 33, 275, and 2 touchdowns and no turnovers. He was solid. Then they had Kenneth Walker for 10 carries for 17 yards. So the Bucs did a really good job with shutting him down. DK Metcalf with 6 receptions for 71 yards. Kenneth Walker, 6 receptions for 55 yards. And Tyler Lockett for 3 receptions for 42. And Marquise Goodwin, 2 receptions for 38 and a touchdown. Tyler Lockett also had a touchdown, too. I think the Seahawks still sit pretty solid. They still have a good chance to win the NFC West. I think it will come down to them and the 49ers. Maybe, I don't know if they have a Week 18 matchup later down the line, but whatever that they play the 49ers, that could possibly be for the West. The West Division crown. Let's actually take a look at the Seahawks' upcoming schedule and let's see, do they have a 49ers matchup Week 18? So no, they don't. They actually play the 49ers for the last time December 15th on, I believe that's going to be a Monday night or Sunday night game. So that'll be a night game. And that could possibly be what determines the West. But again, it's still a lot of football left to play up until that point. But let's take a look at their first matchup. So the first matchup, they actually lost the 49ers. So, yeah, they will have to get back. But they're still first in the West as of right now. I mean, and if they can continue to win and have that one-game lead on the 49ers, they could be fine. But Seattle lost, and they're now dropping to 6-4. But the Buccaneers seems to be finding their way as they're now 5-5. So the next game you have is Detroit Lions versus the Chicago Bears. Man, I feel for Justin Fields. The guy is special with his legs. When he becomes, because I know he will continue to put the work in. When he becomes a prolific passer, like when he continues to improve his passing, and he actually gets weapons around him more than Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney, this Bears team could be really, really solid. You know what I'm saying? They got to upgrade that defense, though, because there was no reason this Bears team lost this game. I know a lot of people want to say the refs screwed them and stuff like that. But defense, man, it's no way you lost this game. There's no way the defense found a way to lose this game. Got no pressure on Jared Goff. Can't believe the Bears lost this game. Another good performance by Justin Fields, at least at least on the ground, where the Bears still lost. Like, if I'm sitting there as a Bears fan, I would be so distraught this morning because it's like, yeah, we're not good, and this is definitely a rebuild year. But considering the fact how the NFC conference is playing out, they're not that far from the 7th seed. But it's a rebuild year. Don't want to bash too much, but so many close games that they could have won this year. They don't have to be 3-7, but they are. Bad teams find ways to lose football games all the time. And as for the Detroit Lions, they're not a good football team either. But someone had to win this game. Jared Goff, 19 for 26, 236 yards and a touchdown. Jamal Williams, 16 carries, 59 yards and a touchdown. Their lead receiver, 10 receptions, 119 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown and 0 touchdowns. Khalif Raymond, came in with the second leading receiver with 3 receptions at 47 yards. So no one really had explosive day besides Amon-Ra St. Brown. But they still found a way to win. Justin Fields, 167 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. But more important than that, he had 13 carries for 147 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. The guy's legs is outstanding. And if you can't contain this guy, this could be a weekly stat. This could be a weekly thing where he's rushing for over 100 yards. Shout out to Justin Fields. Really didn't throw the ball that effectively. He had 167 yards, but not really too many people to throw to. Chase Claypool for the second straight week, really not involved. Darnell Mooney had 4 receptions for 57 yards, and Cole Kmet 4 receptions for 75 and 2 touchdowns. So, they just don't got enough around Justin Fields, man. They need to build more. But as for them, they lost, and they fall at 3-7 on the year. Next game, Browns-Dolphins. Browns absolutely get shredded, 39-17. Dolphins improved to 7-3 on the year. And like I said at the top of the show, I think I owe Tua an apology, man. Tua, if this is Tua, he's arrived. He's a franchise quarterback. And again, like I said, I know he still has a lot to prove before you get to that aspect of things. But if this is him, the Dolphins found their guy. You can't sit here and argue. You can sit here and make an argument, rather, that this is the best offense this year that we're seeing. This offense is outstanding with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and, Mike Gesicki.
Building your online business?
Guys. That offense is amazing. Raheem Mostert in the backfield. It's good. 39-17 victory that they have over the Browns. And as far as the Browns go, before we get to the stats, I know they're just waiting to get Deshaun Watson back about 2 weeks. But Jacoby Brissett, 22 for 35, 212 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions on the day. Nick Chubb, 11 carries, 63 yards, and a touchdown. So for the most part, Nick Chubb was shut down, dare I say. Dare I say shut down. Um, Their leading receiver, Donovan Peoples-Jones, 5 receptions, 99 yards, and the next person was Amari Cooper with 3 receptions and 32 yards. So nobody really got going for them through the air. And then as far as the Dolphins goes, Tua, 25 for 32, 285 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. So another marvelous day for Tua. Their leading rusher, Jeffrey Wilson, had a big day. 17 carries for 119 rushing yards, averaged about 7 yards a carry, and he had a touchdown on the day. Raheem Mostert next with eight carries for 65 yards and a touchdown. And through the air, not really. No one was really like amazing today. Then none of the receivers were, at least. Jalen Waddle, 4 receptions for 66 yards. Then the next receiver, Trent Sherfield, he 4 receptions for 63. And then Tyreek Hill with 5 for 44. And then the next person was Alec Ingold for 4 for 44. So 45 rather. So no one really was that effective. But I mean, I guess he just shared the sugar. So no one really had to be the lead dog per se. But yet another good victory for the Dolphins. And with the Bills lost, they're now number 1 in the East. And you got to start talking about the Dolphins winning that division. I know everyone wants to just give it to Buffalo, but you got to start talking about the Dolphins winning the East, the AFC East, because now they got the Texans coming up with what should be an easy win for them. Then you got a big showdown with the 49ers, but that's definitely a winnable game. And then you got the Chargers, definitely another winnable game. It's going to be hard. Then you got the Bills, December 18th, which could possibly be first place in the division at that point. Then you got the Packers and what seems like a very winnable game. Patriots, another very winnable game, but it's the division game. And then you close out with the Jets, another winnable game, but it's a division game. So their schedule was pretty favorable. They got some tough matchups, but I definitely think they can win all of them. Especially we're starting this next weekend versus the Texans. But yeah, shout out to the Dolphins, man. Again, if this is Tua, okay, and this is what we're going to get on a weekend basis from Tua Tagovailoa, I apologize because this guy looks good. Next game, Broncos, Titans, 17-10. Defensive game yet again. Both offenses really struggled this game. But the Titans find a way to win. Russell Wilson, 21 for 42, 286 through the air, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Devontae Murray, 9 carries for 24 yards. And Cortland Sutton, 6 receptions for 66 yards. And that was pretty much it for their stats. And not really too much on the day. And then Ryan Tannehill, 19 for 36, 255, 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Derrick Henry, 19 carries for 53 yards. And I know for Titans fans, although us as NFL fans on the outside looking at this game, like, man, this is boring. This is a bad game. Like, really watch the defensive game, low-scoring game. But I know for Titans fans, they feel so much better. They would much rather have this than Malik Willis last week, who literally had 82 yards throughout the whole game. And I think negative yards in the overtime. So I know that feels better, and that feels light years better than what they saw last week on Sunday Night Football versus the Chiefs. So shout out to the Titans for getting that done. They're leading that AFC South, and more likely than not will win that division. Next game, you got Vikings, Bills. Again, probably the game of the year. All I'm going to say is Justin Jefferson, bro. I mean, the guy from start for the second straight week opened up the game for getting the touchdown. The guy had, was it 66 yards in the first quarter? The guy was outstanding, man. Justin Jefferson has made a case for the best receiver in the league. You had, in my opinion, probably the top three receivers, two of the top three receivers going at it in this game, and Justin Jefferson and Stephon Diggs. And neither one of them disappointed. This man, Justin Jefferson, had 10 receptions for 193 yards and a touchdown. Adam Thielen, 5 receptions for 49 yards. Also, Dalvin Cook, 14 carries for 119 yards and a touchdown on the day. Kirk Thuggins, or what they call him, I forgot, but I saw it. It was Kirk Thuggins or Kirk O'Chains or Perk Thuggins or something like that. 30 for 50, 357 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Don't let the stat sheet fool you. Although he had 2 picks, he still showed up when he needed it, when they needed him to. Okay, they showed up when they needed him to. Made big throw, gave Justin Jefferson a chance, and that's what I got. That's what you got to like about Kirk Cousins, man. In doubt. And this is what frustrates me so much as a Washington fan, and how ironic, because Kirk Cousins is a former quarterback for the Washington Commanders. This is what frustrates me so much as a Washington fan, because they never do this. Like, they never do this. When in doubt, Kirk Cousins, anybody for that matter, is going to get the ball to their best receiver, and that was Justin Jefferson yesterday. If Josh Allen was put in that predicament, he would have thrown it to no other than Stephon Diggs. But the Washington Commanders, they don't treat Terry McLaurin like these guys. And Terry McLaurin has proved that he's a number 1 receiver, got paid like he was one this offseason. They don't do that. 4th and 18, they throw it to their best receiver. Justin Jefferson climbs the ladder, snags it with one hand, rips it away from the defensive back with one arm, and converts. Then he goes on later to score a touchdown on that drive, or set them up for a touchdown, I should say, later on that drive. The guy was outstanding. Okay. Seriously making a case for the best receiver in football. But for sure, he's top 3. And then you switch over to the Bills. 29 for 43, 330 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions for Josh Allen. So him and Kirk Cousins similar in that aspect of things. Don't let it fool you, though, because again, when Josh Allen needed to make the throws, except for the interception late that put a seal on the game, he made every big throw. Okay, had 6 carries for 84 yards on the ground too. So that UCL injury does not seem to be affecting him at all. Stephon Diggs, another outstanding day, 12 receptions for 128 yards, averaged a first down a reception. So Diggs with another good day. Gabe Davis, 6 receptions for 93 yards. Although it was really 5 receptions for 70 yards, because that one catch that they gave him was clearly incomplete, and they didn't review it or anything, gave him the first down. So you can argue that they shouldn't even have been in that predicament. But also, with that being said, Bills found a way to pitch this game away. If I'm a Bills fan, I'm so frustrated, because they tried to lose this game in every which way. Okay, you're up double-digit points. It was a 27-17. I was talking trash. I'm like, oh my God, look at the Bills. They're about to do what we didn't do last week, and that's what good teams do, and that's close them out. I'm talking trash on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, man, look, this loss to the Vikings hurts so much more because they're not a good team, and the Bills are proving that right now. Had a chance to close it out, they did, okay? And then what really was the nail in the coffin was You get the turnover, okay, or at least you get the stop on 4th and goal. Was the QB sneak? Kirk Cousins didn't get it, and you're on the 1. Literally, all you need to do is fall forward. Josh Allen bobbles the snap, covered by the Vikings in the end zone, touchdown. You gotta be kidding me if I'm a Buffalo fan. If I was a Buffalo fan, I would be outraged. Then you get to overtime. Not even overtime, because let me finish addressing that. Who's the Vikings kicker again? It's not Greg Zuerlein, is it? It's not Greg Zuerlein. It's what's the guy's name? I forgot his name. Let me look it up quickly here. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. But their kicker, Greg Joseph. Greg Joseph, if he makes that PAT, okay, they're up 1 after their touchdown, which means the Buffalo Bills can't go down and just kick a field goal. Okay, they have to actually get a touchdown, and who knows? They probably don't do that because it was only like 40 seconds left. I think they either had a timeout or no timeouts. I can't remember that, but they probably don't get a touchdown. But again, you can never count out the Bills with Josh Allen. But they're not in that predicament if their field goal kicker makes the PAT. But they were. And for the life of me, I can't understand why do coaches play 15 yards off the ball when a team needs a field goal. It's like you're just giving them free game to get a field goal, man. I don't understand it. Like, for the life of me, I can't grasp why they do that. Don't understand it. Two wide open receptions for Dawson Knox. One-handed grabs. And then another reception puts him in field goal range. Tyler Bass knocks it through. Now you're in overtime. I don't understand why coaches do it. I don't care about, we're trying to keep it in front of us. We're trying to keep it in front of them. Keep it in front of us. Or keep them in front of us, whatever, trying to protect them from going deep. A team's not going to go deep if all they need is a field goal and you're giving them 15 yards every single snap. They're going to take that. Just don't need to protect the deep ball. Come up, play man, make the tackle, keep them in bounds. Simple as that. They go over your head, play defense. Don't just give them 15 yards of real estate. I don't get why defensive coordinators do that, but it turned out to not bite them in the, because they end up winning that game. They end up winning that game 33-30 in overtime. And what a game, man. What a game. I can't believe that happened. And that probably is GOTY game of the year. Oh, next game we got here. Texans, Giants. Giants win yet another game, 24-16, and they're now 7-2 on the year. Davis Mills 24-16. Davis Mills 22 for 37, 319 pass yards, touchdown and an interception. Damian Pierce 17 carries for 94 yards, and their leading receiver was Jordan Atkins with 3 receptions for 72. The Texans at this point are just fighting for Lovie Smith, and you can't do nothing but respect. Can't do nothing but respect. They know they're not a good team. They know they're rebuilding, but they were just fighting for Lovie Smith. And at some point, hopefully it's not against my Washington Commanders, but at some point, they're going to get that second win on this other seed. Because they're close. Had a chance versus Philly last week. Had a chance versus the Giants this week. Hopefully, when it's time to play my Washington Commanders, we beat them. We don't give them a chance to stick around. We don't give them a chance to possibly steal one at home. No. Just like every other NFC East team is doing, we need to take care of business versus the Texans. But again, shout out to the Texans, they're fighting. Daniel Jones, 13 for 17, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions on the day. Saquon Barkley, oh my Lord, I did not see this. 35 carries for 152 yards and a touchdown. Is that just rushing? That's just rushing. My God, Saquon Barkley was amazing. I did not know that. That's crazy. Giants win yet another game. Not saying this to hate on the Giants or whatever, because you gotta no matter who you play, you gotta win regardless of the fact. Okay? But I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with the Giants. They're probably gonna make the playoffs. They're 7-2. Okay, they're probably gonna get that 5th seed. So we're coming on to them in Dallas for that 5th seed that Thursday night. Thanksgiving game is going to be huge. And that could possibly be for seeding. But I'm not impressed by the Giants. But with that being said, I can't hate them. They're well coached, and you got to beat what's on your schedule. That's why I hate when teams say, "Oh, you're playing soft schedule. It's the Texans, it's the Lions, it's the Jets." Well, the Jets of old, but I hate when teams say that. Okay, you got to play who's on your schedule, and that's what the Giants did. They took care of business, and that's all they're doing. And you can't hate them for it. Although I'm not impressed by who they're beating. Not who they're beating, but how they're winning. I should say. Just because I'm impressed how they're winning, they still got to win, and they're finding a way to do that. Shout out to the Giants, man. Hopefully, by the time y'all get to us, we can beat y'all twice, because we play y'all by it, and then us by it, and then we play y'all again. So hopefully we can beat y'all, but hats off to Brian Dable and company, man. Can't do nothing but respect that. Jaguars Chiefs next game. Chiefs took care of business. It was closer than what I thought. Trevor Lawrence had a solid day. 259, 2 touchdowns. ETN 11 carries for 45 yards. But the Chiefs found a way to win. Patrick Mahomes, 331 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. Another marvelous day by Patrick Mahomes. Guys, outstanding. He's amazing. The Chiefs improved to 7-2 on the year. Jaguars 4-3-7. Lead receiver Isaiah Poncho, 6 receptions for 81 yards. Marquez Valdez scattered 3 receptions, 60 yards. Kadarius Toney 4 receptions for 57 yards and a touchdown. All 3 of those guys got a touchdown. And you already know Travis Kelce got a touchdown. Duh. It's Travis Kelce. I'll say this about the Chiefs. I don't know how people thought they were going to fall off. I mean, I understand Tyreek Hill was a big part of their offense. Don't get me wrong. But they have Patrick Mahomes. Okay? They got Patrick Mahomes. That's all you need to be competitive. I will say this, though, in this game, Juju Smith-Schuster took a nasty hit where his body locked up. You never like to see that, man. But hopefully Juju's okay, because he's a good guy. He's a huge part of this offense. And just more importantly, you never like to see guys like that happen to guys, injuries like that happen to guys. You don't like injuries at all, but you especially don't like scary injuries like that where his body just locks up. Seeing what happened to Tua, his body just locked up. You hate to see that. But hopefully Juju's okay. 27-17, final score. Chiefs moved to 7-3. Next game, you got Steelers, Saints. This game shouldn't have been 20-10. Steelers should have ran away with it, but they're not a good team this year, so they didn't do that. They got TJ Watt back, which made a huge difference, because it's like when they have TJ Watt, the whole defense knows how to play. When they're not with TJ Watt, they forget how to play football. Andy Dalton, 17 for 27, 174 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks. Alvin Kamara, 8 carries, 26 yards. Saints fall 3-7 on the year. Not a good year by the Saints. Not a good year. Kenny Pickett, 18 for 30, a buck 99 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Najee Harris found a way to finally have a good game. 20 carries for 99 yards, looking like the rookie year Najee Harris. Really good day from him. Kenny Pickett had 8 carries for 51 yards, a touchdown. Let's look at the TJ Watt stats as if he had any impact on the game today. I just want to see. Did TJ Watt have any defensive impact today? I'm pretty sure he did, but let's just see here. TJ Watt had 2 tackles, so he didn't have a huge impact on yesterday's game. But it just seems like when he's in the lineup, they just figure out how to play football. But shout out to them getting another win. Next game, you got Colts, Raiders. Jeff Saturday's coaching debut. A lot of people made a lot of noise about it. How it's not fair that guys that's been there all training camp long through the hard work, sweat and tears, staying late at night, game planning with these guys, working day in, day out, and then Jeff Saturday gets hired. A lot of people are making a lot of noise about that. Jeff Saturday makes his coaching debut and he gets the win versus a bad Raiders football team. Matt Ryan, who originally they said Sam Ellinger was going to be the starter for the remainder of the year. New coaching staff in there, or new head coach rather. He says, nah, we're going to put Matt Ryan back out there. 21 for 28, 222, and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, looking like old Jonathan Taylor from last year. 22 carries for a buck 47, 6.7 yards a carry, and a touchdown. Matt Ryan had a crazy run this game, had like a 39-yard run. Paris Campbell, 7 receptions, 76 yards. And I believe he had a touchdown on that day. Kylan Grayson, 4 receptions, 57 yards. Michael Pittman, 7 receptions, 53. Solid day from the Colts, man. And as far as the Raiders, they suck, okay? Josh McDaniels, the worst head coach I've ever seen. Him and Nathaniel Hackett are trying to outduel each other. They're both terrible. Derek Carr, 248, 2 touchdowns, 21 carries for 70 yards. And what's crazy about this team is they have some talent. They have talent on this roster. Devontae Adams, 9 carries or 9 receptions for 126 yards and a touchdown. I feel bad for him, but at the end of the day, I know I don't because he chose this team. Okay, he wanted to go here with his best friend in Derek Carr. Foster Moreau, 3 receptions for 43 yards, the next closest person to Devontae Adams. But next game, you got Cardinals, Rams. Cardinals win 27-17. Rams not looking good. Okay, I think this is their reality. No Matthew Stafford today. Cooper Kupp got hurt, avoided a scary injury, but he still got hurt today. Rams stink this year, man, and I don't see them turning around. So does the Cardinals, but they found a way to win, and that's all you can do. That's all you can ask for 27-17 victory. Next day, you got Packers, Cowboys, yet another good game. NFL game of the week on Fox. Seems like the Cowboys are always in NFL games of the week, right? But NFL game of the week on Fox. Cowboys lose. It's always a good day when that happens. 31-28. Packers win. Dak Prescott, 27 for 46. 265 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Tony Pollard, 22 carries for 115 yards. Was Zeke Elliott? I don't think Zeke was hurt this game. I just think he didn't play. I'm not sure though. I think he might have been still hurt. Let's see here. Michael Gallup, 4 receptions for 35 yards. CeeDee Lamb had a good day. 11 receptions for 150 yards, 13.6 yards a carry. So he had 2 touchdowns on the day, and he had a first down catch. So good day for CeeDee Lamb, but it wasn't enough. It's funny how the Packers get 9 points on the day last week versus the Lions, but they come home and they beat the Dallas Cowboys. Not only beat the Dallas Cowboys, but get 30 points put on their head. And I picked the Packers this week in my weekly predictions video. I said the Packers were going to win this game. I just had a feeling, and they did that. Maybe this is the turning point for the Packers. Christian Watson had himself a day. He had 3 touchdowns on the day. This is the game that they were expecting to see, or that they were waiting to get from their second round rookie. Christian Watson had himself a day, man. Next game, Sunday night game, 16-22 victory for the 49ers over the Chargers. This sucks because we're in that 7th seed chase, and we needed them to lose. But, I mean, there's still a lot of football left, and we still play the 49ers, so we still have everything we want in front of us as a Washington Commanders fan. But we first got to take care of business tonight. But they did beat the Chargers, and the Chargers had every chance to win this game. You know what I'm saying? And they found a way to lose. They couldn't get anything really going through the air. Justin Herbert tried his best, with DeAndre Carter, Josh Palmer. But you're not going to win games with DeAndre Carter, Josh Palmer as your receivers, okay? You need Keenan Allen. You need Mike Williams, okay? You need more than just Austin Eckler out there. You need more. And unfortunately, they didn't get that last night, and they couldn't score touchdowns. They kicked field goals, and the 49ers, they got an extra touchdown. I mean, you could argue and say if Brandon Ayuk doesn't drop that touchdown pass, this game's not even close. So that's that. Herbert, 21 for 35, 196 yards on the day, a touchdown and an interception. And then Austin Eckler, 6 carries for 24 yards. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. World War III wants to happen outside my window right now, if you hear that in the background. But, again, Chargers doesn't have enough on offense with no Keenan Allen and no Mike Williams. So, as far as the 49ers goes, Jimmy Garoppolo, 19 for 28, 240 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. This is Jimmy Garoppolo. Be a game manager, don't turn over the ball. That's what he did. Elijah Mitchell, 18 carries, 89 yards. Christian McCaffrey, 14 carries, 38 yards, and a touchdown. Brandon Ayuk, 6 receptions, 84 yards. And they found a way to win. So that's NFL Week 10 recap. And for me personally, it was a good week of picking games. Really was. I don't know about you out there, but when I picked games this week, I did a really good job. Now, let's move over to the final segment of the day, and that's going to be Washington versus Philadelphia Eagles preview. So let me get some shout-outs to people in here, though, before we do that. Feel the Burn, what's going on? Good morning, Feel the Burn. Welcome to the top of the morning show. My man Dave in here. What's good, Dave? Dave says they just activated Chase Young. No, they didn't. It says Ian Rappaport just put out a tweet and said the Commanders are not activating star pass rusher Chase Young off IR for tonight's game against the Eagles. Sources said Young coming back from ACL tear is close to being ready, and there is a real chance he makes his debut next week if all goes well at practice this week. So he's there. They are not activating Chase Young. Brian Harden, what's going on? How you doing, my man? Appreciate you for coming through this morning. Alante, what's going on? All right, let's get to the preview of this game. I will say this, though. before we get into it, I did not know Jordan Davis was on IR. Okay, I did not know Jordan Davis was on IR. So that's huge because they had him in week 3, the first matchup of the game, or the first matchup we had. They had him, but they won't have him tonight. Okay, and that makes a huge difference for our ability to run the ball. That's one weakness about this Eagles team is that they can't really stop the run. So with no Jordan Davis in the middle, we may have a good day on the ground. This may be a big day for Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson. Okay? We need to find a way to win this game, first of all. We need to find a way to win this game. We have a good chance. I feel good about today's game. I really do. We're getting Jahan Dodson back. His first time playing since week 4. Scary Terry. Going up against Darius Slate. Take care of business, Terry. Curtis Samuel, get him involved. I want to see more Amari Rodgers today. Okay. This don't be the first time the Eagles seen the team for the second time this year. Why not be the first time? Why not be the first team to beat them this year? Why not? Why not? Let's get it done, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't have much to say about this preview game. I wanted to have people call in, but it's obviously not a lot of people in here, which I'm not, mad about it at all because this is a new series I'm starting. So the more I do it, the more people are going to come through. But I really don't have much about to say. I already did my preview video on Saturday. Check that out if you haven't already. But get it done. We match up well against them. I'll be live for the game tonight at 8 p.m. So hope to see you guys over there for the live play-by-play. Get it done. That's all I'm gonna say. Why not? Let's be the first team to beat them. I feel good about this game. I really do. I think we have a good chance to finally beat them. Phil the Burn, before I get out of here, I'll answer this question. Phil the Burn says Terry stat line. I'm gonna say Terry goes 9 receptions, 82 yards, 2 touchdowns. Terry McLaurin's gonna have a day. Okay. But yeah, man, there you have it. That's the top of the morning show for this morning. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your morning. See you back bright and early on Wednesday for the show. As always, being Boy Juan Gotti. Stay tuned for tonight's game. If you want to come through and watch the game with me, I'll be live for the Washington Commanders versus Philadelphia Eagles game. Hope to see you guys over there. As always, being Boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Help to Washington Commanders and every team out there. Good luck remaining the way, except for the NFC East. Hope everybody sucks. It's always been Boy Juan Gotti. Peace.